He's a pure savage.
Yeah, he don't care about
He's a
nothing.
pure savage.
Yeah.
And that's also why he was so good at fighting, man. In the middle of the Jose Aldo fight, I remember looking in his eyes and watching how calm, like genuinely calm he was. I'm like, this guy just, and Dana said it best. He's like, he eats pressure. He just eats it. He likes it. He wants it to be chaos.
It is interesting that in the time where that low calf kick is coming to prominence, and, you know, this is also the time when Conor started moving away from the sport, took time off, fought boxing, you know, then came back and had the fight with Khabib, and then came back and had the fight with Cowboy. The calf kick was never in play in any of his fights. But if you look at him stylistically, and this is one of the things, I love DC's detail that he does on ESPN. It's amazing. But when he broke down Conor's heavy weight on the right leg, he leans in like this all the time. It's such a big weapon.
And sometimes he, like you said, that wide stance as well. It's just hard to check the kick from that wide stance. You know.
Well, it's a crazy stance for everything other than calf kicks. It's a great stance. I mean, he's so good at moving in and covering distance with that stance.
As of right here, right now, Gaethje McGregor is still on the table, and I think that should be. I think that should be pulled. I do not believe that Conor should walk into a title fight, but moreover, I will tell you, and Conor will too, he's not going to 155. Now, the promotion does not yet have that through their head. They are still pushing for Conor and 155. This is all extremely accurate information. So, I think there's a lot of options for McGregor. I really think that if it's not him versus Chandler, it should be. We really should look at that. We fans were promised a certain fight. We fans have been pretty damn patient.
McGregor's presence looms larger as the White House event approaches. Callouts keep coming. Fighters are positioning themselves, and analysts can't agree on how this unprecedented spectacle will unfold. One certainty remains, though. If the spotlight's shining, McGregor will be right in the center of it all. Everything else is just hype, guesswork, and pure pandemonium waiting to explode.
It depends you fight with who. If you're gonna fight with Cowboy Cerrone, you're gonna look good. You're gonna be like lion. But if you're gonna fight like guys who on the top, who really best in the world, like Dustin Poirier, like this fight gonna show your level. You know, okay, fight with Cowboy or like these fights, be lion and that's it, make money. This is smart. But if you wanna become champion, if you wanna fight like Beneil, Islam, Charles, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, these guys lions, you know? These guys gonna show your level.
While everything stays uncertain, one fighter's name keeps pulling everyone into the conversation. Mauricio Ruffy didn't shy away when asked about the White House card and McGregor's looming presence over it. Ruffy dove headfirst into the McGregor madness when questioned about future possibilities. Word is that Conor prefers facing a dangerous striker who brings excitement over someone who plays it safe. Ruffy positioned himself exactly as that type of fighter, showing readiness without making unreasonable demands. Ruffy made his intentions crystal clear. He's ready to step into the spotlight and let the UFC decide. If McGregor wants a fight that guarantees fireworks.
What's next, Mauricio?
O que é o próximo? O que é o que vem agora para você?
Eu pedi Perry Pimblett na Casa Branca, talvez Conor McGregor tá querendo lutar também. Eu vi na internet rumores que ele acha melhor lutar contra mim, que sou um bom striker e que vai dar show pra galera, do que contra o Michael Chandler, que vem só de derrotas. E eu tô aqui, eu sou trabalhador do UFC, o que o UFC colocar, eu tô pronto.
Yeah, I work for UFC, but of course I want to fight on White House, maybe with Perry Pimblett or maybe Conor. I saw something about Conor saying that it's good to fight with me than Michael Chandler. So yeah, but I'm a UFC, so whatever.
It's not just hungry up-and-comers showing that kind of boldness. Even champions start calculating possibilities when McGregor's name enters the discussion. Helia Taperia didn't mince words. Turning down a McGregor fight makes zero sense. It's about magnitude, not competition. Fighting Conor means making history, grabbing massive exposure, and earning life-changing money. Taperia made his position clear. If that phone rings, he's answering. That's just how it goes.
About Conor is like still, even though he might not be the best fighter in the world right now, he's the golden goose.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
That's insane. You can't ignore how incredible it is, you know, that he still commands that level of attention, but Joe Rogan breaks down Conor's drawing power perfectly. McGregor's star power hasn't faded despite his current fighting status. His marketability stays intact, even though he's not dominating the rankings anymore. McGregor still generates more buzz than anyone in the sport and guarantees massive viewership numbers. That magnetic pull is rare in an era where celebrities rise and fall rapidly, which explains why he keeps surfacing in White House conversations.
Go to see him, you know? It just...
That would be a great one. But what excites me more is the fight with Patty.
Really?
Yeah, that fight excites me even more. And if they could put that fight in Spain...
Rogan also explained how McGregor's impact goes beyond simple wins and defeats. Working with Chael Sonnen, he labeled Conor as one of the rare fighters who fundamentally changed the entire industry. The formula wasn't just about fighting, it involved creating buzz, building persona, and making bold statements loud enough that audiences couldn't ignore them. That spotlight converted into power, and that power converted into massive payday. Whether fans love or despise the method, Rogan's message was clear. For certain fighters, it's not merely talking trash, it's calculated business, and McGregor mastered that art.
I feel like there's a couple guys who kind of changed the game. One of them was Chael Sonnen, and another one is Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And part of the way they changed the game was talking mad shit and getting a lot of people to pay attention to them.
Yeah.
And
Which, cool, you know? Like, it got them a lot of attention, it got them a lot of money, but like, and if that's what makes them happy, cool, you know?
I believe some people consider it smart business thinking. Not everyone's convinced by the comeback story, though. Khabib was brutally honest about Conor McGregor's potential return. He maintained that the punishment McGregor has absorbed, particularly to his legs, isn't something fighters completely bounce back from. Add several years of diminished motivation, and Khabib says the answer is obvious. Peak performance only happens once. After reaching that summit, no comeback can duplicate it. Once you've hit your ceiling, decline becomes unavoidable.
It's what history shows us. When you take like this damage, you're never gonna be same. Never, ever. Okay, if we talk about Conor, okay, like last couple years he's not hungry. And now what happened with his legs, like never ever. Never people come back, and never gonna be people on the same prime twice. Prime come only one time. You're gonna be on prime.
Khabib connected it directly to the White House event, positioning it as more than entertainment. Facing someone like Cowboy Cerrone might make McGregor appear dominant and move tickets. But the crucial question remains whether he can still compete with the best. Names like Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveira, or Justin Gaethje. For Khabib, the White House platform isn't about fame or finances. It's an examination of whether McGregor's peak is permanently behind him, or if he can still deliver at championship level. From his perspective, the opponent choice will determine if Conor remains a legitimate threat or simply a marketing tool.
You're gonna go down. It depends you fight with who. If you're gonna fight with Cowboy Cerrone, you're gonna look good. You're gonna be like lion. But if you're gonna fight like guys who on the top, who really best in the world, like Dustin Poirier, like this fight gonna show your level, you know? Okay, fight with Cowboy or like these fights, be lion and that's it, make money. This is smart. But if you wanna become champion, if you wanna fight like Beneil, Islam, Charles, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, these guys lions, you know? These guys gonna show your level.
While Khabib doubted whether McGregor maintains the drive to compete with elite fighters, Conor maintains the answer is absolutely. And beyond that, before the White House event, he positioned his comeback as something deeper than competition. It's a spiritual journey driven by belief and self-examination. The passion that previously motivated him, he claims, isn't merely returning, it's intensified. After spending time on introspection and reset, McGregor insists he's coming back more precise, determined, and prepared to demonstrate he still deserves the biggest platforms. For him, the White House event isn't simply a show. It's where this renewed, unstoppable version proves itself.
God that dictates my journey and all of our journeys. And I live my life by God's word. And since around that time that you mentioned at the last event, I've engaged on a spiritual journey. And I'm saved, I am healed. And, you know, on the back of that, the world is in for a treat. The world is in for a treat. My competitive spark that was once in my heart is now a roaring blaze. So I'm very excited. You know, I envy these men up here on this dais. They're right about to make weight, and they're to go in and enjoy and entertain and do what they were called to do, as am I called to do it. And you know, I'm eager to get back. And right now I had to dial myself in and go inward, and that I done. And I'm very, very excited to come back my own self.
Expanding on McGregor's claims of a more refined, concentrated comeback, Chael Sonnen offered insight into his potential White House opponent. He described a possible fight with Justin Gaethje as practically perfect, an intelligent pairing that works for both the show and each fighter's trajectory. But Sonnen warned that nothing's certain once that cage locks. Even if McGregor has accepted the bout, the result will create its own narrative, and the ultimate challenge will be proving this new, determined version can deliver on the promises.
Right? Okay, a special treat in the White House and a special treat in Conor McGregor, which is almost a gift, right? Bread Panty Night is real. That's a gift for somebody. We'll gift this to Justin Gaethje on his way out the door, and he won't mind fighting in a different weight class because he's leaving anyway. He's not coming up the ranks. This is all part of the thought process as to why it's going to be Conor versus Justin Gaethje, but that is also believed that Justin Gaethje was going to lose. Now, you can't say that. When you go in and you start talking about these deals, there's never say, hey, you're going to lose to Patty. So when you lose to Patty, we're going to bump you up a weight class that won't matter as you're on your way out anyway. Like, you can't say those things. So when he goes in and gets the win, it's very hard to unwind that and go, okay, it's no longer McGregor and Gaethje. They're both going to go. Why? Right? Imagine McGregor that already said yes to Gaethje. He's saying the same.
Sonnen then explained how tricky things become if McGregor jumps directly into a championship bout, shifting him to 155 pounds, he noted, creates questions about title legitimacy and complicates everything. As an alternative, he proposed matching him against whoever loses between Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett, a fight that could still create enormous excitement. It's a blockbuster bout with serious drawing power, but Sonnen emphasized that the White House card isn't only about generating attention, it's about crafting a fight that works inside the octagon and serves the narrative. Then Michael Bisping shared his thoughts on potential White House opponents, emphasizing the celebrity status and narratives surrounding them. He identified Jorge Masvidal as an incredible opponent for Conor McGregor, mentioning Masvidal's appearances at Trump events and his ties to political theater. Bisping compared that to Michael Chandler, whose recent defeats in his natural division make him less attractive. Meanwhile, Masvidal's achievements from the quickest finish in UFC history to claiming the inaugural BMF title establish him as someone who can provide both legitimacy and entertainment against McGregor on a platform as unprecedented as the White House.
Because we've seen on the internet you versus McGregor.
Shit, give them what they want, not what they expect. I could say some big news, and I can't deny or confirm what you just said.
Even Chael Sonnen was talking about it. And as I said, when you look at Jorge Masvidal and the career that he's had, and then you remember Jorge Masvidal has been a massive supporter of Donald Trump. I think he's spoken publicly at rallies for Donald Trump as well. So he's certainly in the good graces of the Trump family, right? And they're the kind of people that they're going to want at the White House. Conor McGregor versus Jorge Masvidal. That'll be a sensational matchup. Michael Chandler, of course, losing to Paddy Pimblett the way that he did. And then, of course, when you look at the majority of fights that he's lost, okay, it doesn't really put him in too good of a standing, okay? And of course, he's 155. Yeah, he'd come up to 170 to fight McGregor, but he's not a natural 170. And Jorge Masvidal has fought at 155, but also finished his career at 170. He did fight for the belt. He did have the fastest knockout in history. He absolutely destroyed Nate Diaz when he became the first BMF. I mean, If you go back to 2019, that was the coming out.
Furthermore, John Anik offered a contrasting viewpoint on the White House event, recognizing the thrill of seeing Conor McGregor return while questioning some of the suggested opponents. He argued that a bout with Michael Chandler, while patriotic and buzzworthy, doesn't impact the lightweight rankings much and could potentially occur at a catchweight. For Anik, the genuine excitement lies in possible fights with competitors like Nate Diaz or Mauricio Ruffy, contests that would challenge McGregor's abilities and provide substantial consequences inside the cage.
Modern young generation of fighters are going to know you for the way you commentate, the way you call plays, the way you are so analytical about fighters. You're amazing at what you do at bringing the whole story to life, and I think it's like one piece of the puzzle that has to be there. Like, we need John Anik, you know, and we've seen you do some other things with the Canelo fight, which was amazing, by the way, which I want to talk about. How much of this chemistry is built off the camera versus on the camera? I'll start with you.
Building on Anik's emphasis about significant matchups, Michael Chandler made his intentions known with a direct challenge. He's targeting Conor McGregor, and he wants it at the White House venue. Chandler referenced McGregor's social media, interviews, and highlight packages as evidence the interest goes both ways. While he recognized that MMA stays unpredictable and guarantees don't exist, he stated clearly that both competitors are interested and discussions are moving forward. Meanwhile, Chandler is already completely committed to preparation, prepared to turn that fight into reality whenever the UFC approves.
You know, it's no secret. Obviously, I want to fight Conor, and I think it's no secret by the things that he's posting, the interviews that he's doing, the number of times he said my name, posted a video of me and him and our highlights and all that kind of stuff a week or so ago. He wants to fight me. I want to fight him. He wants to fight at the White House. I want nothing more than to be wearing the red, white, and blue stars and bars, walking onto the White House lawn and fighting at the White House. You know how hard it is to put percentages on anything in mixed martial arts. It's such a crazy sport, and that's why we love it. But one thing is for sure, Conor wants to fight me at the White House. I want to fight him at the White House. And conversations are being had. I think things are moving in that direction, but we're never going to know when this thing's going to be announced. So we will see. All I know is I'm going to start training here very soon, like laser focused on June, whatever it is. And they're going to keep holding the cards close to their chest, as they always do, trying to keep things a secret. And we'll see how.
We want your input. Which opponent do you believe makes the best sense for Conor McGregor at the White House event? Michael Chandler, Jorge Masvidal, Mauricio Ruffy, or perhaps someone completely different? Share your opinions in the comments section and become part of the discussion. And if you haven't done so yet, remember to click that subscribe button so you won't miss any of our fight analysis, expert commentary, and developments as this groundbreaking card takes shape.